Hey, you guys, and welcome to American Culture. Paul is here. You might hear him in the background. Don't pay him any attention. The thing is, you guys, I just got back from group, and one of the young ladies, she just got married and came to group talking about how she was feeling post wedding blues and she was really depressed now that the wedding and all the things were over. She had planned for it for a couple of years, and now what is she supposed to do? Well, I, with my big mouth and being willing to tell the truth, told her, you're having a midlife crisis. Now, I could tell by her response with the elaborate, please, that she didn't necessarily agree with what I was saying, but maybe you will. You see, the thing is, you guys, in life, we can do two things. We can either satisfy our flesh or try to fulfill what our spirit wants us to do. Now, oftentimes we go with the fleshly side of things because we live in a microwave society and it's just easier. And so, what we do is we settle for happiness. So, we find these little end goal things to work towards, and working towards them is what makes us happy. But inevitably, once we get these things, it's like, well, what now? You see people do it in with jobs and careers and schoolings. They do it in relationships, with houses, boats, cars, you name it. Even weight loss. They say once I get to 100 and something pounds, things are going to be great. Then they get there and realize not so much. Because you see, it's not the fleeting emotion of happiness that the satisfaction of the flesh gives you that you're after. You're after that state of being of joy, that only fulfillment of doing the things that your spirit is calling you to do can give you. You see, that takes a lot more work. That takes knowing you and actually wanting to be a wife, actually wanting to be a doctor, actually wanting to be a homeowner, saying, I want all of the things that come with this title, not just being in pursuit of the title itself. And so, what she's done is she was in pursuit of a title. She was in pursuit of being a wife. She was in pursuit of having a wedding. She was in pursuit of so many things. And once she got them, it was like, now what am I supposed to do? There's an identity crisis that comes along with it because now you got to be somebody's wife. It's not a girlfriend. There are a lot of legal things involved, and this is it. There is no more major milestone unless now we got to buy a house, and then we got to move and get a new car, and then we got to have a kid. It's something else. And again, that is something that a lot of people end up doing. They get with somebody, and it just becomes, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And it was never about actually being married. It was never about actually being a husband or a wife. You guys, this goes further than that. I'm a nurse. And I can't tell you how many times I have to tell these young nurses back when I was in the hospital, try not to give up on the career because they get into the NICU, they get into med surg, they say, ooh, this is not for me. You see, they were looking at those dollar signs and thinking, I could go to California and make 100 something dollars an hour. I can do this and I can pay for that. But then they realized that their spirit wasn't in this type of work. It didn't, they weren't built for this. I always tell them, go out there and try something else. Do pediatrics, do home health, do doctor's office, but don't give up on the career just yet. Maybe you were drawn here for a reason, even though they weren't necessarily the right ones. Unfortunately, when it comes to marriage, you don't have the option to simply get a different partner or something else. This is the reason why it's very important to make sure that what you're after isn't just a title, but it's a life position and an identity you want to actually encompass. You see, because that's what your spirit is saying. Your spirit is linked to who and what you identify with and as. She should have thought about if she wanted to really be a wife, or did she just want to get married? So yeah, you guys, she's definitely having a crisis point because it was just one more thing she wanted to do, one more thing that made her happy. But like I said, satisfaction of the flesh only gives you the temporary fleeting emotions that come along with getting what you want. That's not what your life is after. That's not your purpose. Your spirit needs to be fulfilled. And that means I've got to actually want the identity that comes along with the goal that I'm trying to achieve so that I stay in a state of joy while in pursuit, while having it, and not just being satisfied by fleeting happiness. Have a blessed day, you guys.